Here we go. Welcome back to Super Sentai Review, episode 165. This I'm talking about episodes 63 to 68 of Gorenger. 63, the last of what was what we kind of started off with Gorenger, though it had been getting a little more serious for quite a while. Now, in case you're curious to the monsters of these ones, now 64 is the start of something new that'll be there for pretty much the rest of the run. These are your monsters: Television Mask, Clock Mask, Fallen Leaves Mask. There's the serious name of this monster. Windmill Mask, Can Art Mask. Oh, there's something about this one I gotta talk about. And Injection Mask. First up, let's talk about Teammate Mask. Yeah, his plot. Okay, so they want to basically find this nuclear power plant, and they kind of want to blow it up. And they get blueprints of this thing via being found in a vault. Somehow T-Man's got in here, and his head is one of the most weirdest things I've ever seen. His death is also quite hilarious, too. Oh, channel changer. Basically, two fingers press two buttons on his head, and then he just blows up. He's a hilariously bad monster. It's like, okay, so his whole thing is he has a big antenna on his head, and he basically just goes around just trying to blow up this one power plant, which he's somehow got plans to. Now, here's the thing. How the heck he was even there, I don't know. And he's similar to another mask monster. I think his name is the one who was like a giant fan. Yeah, he himself, it's very similar because the guy texts sonar. This guy texts basically computer signals. Very similar. Okay. So he basically plugs in, of course, he gets info from his base, which apparently is electronics universe. I'm like, that's interesting. Yes, electronics school. I'm like, not a bad idea for your base operations for this one monster. As far as I can tell, generally put, I think he's like one of the very few who actually have his own personal base. Because a lot of the time, these monsters just basically just act on their own. They just basically drive around or occasionally go back to the main base, but never have a prop base of their own, which God praise the fact the series of this. And basically because he fails so much, Black Cross Fuhrer tells him, don't come back alive. Yeah. Basically, he's just expecting to get killed by the Go Rangers because this guy was an embarrassment to the Black Cross Army. Yep. I guess they figured out, well, time to stop the silliness. Now it's time to get a lot more serious. Because with 64, we are introduced to something that remained there for pretty much the rest of the series. We have the Black Cross Castle, this UFO, and we also have the debut of the Black Cross Ninja Corps, which apparently are a group of aliens. Now, it is mentioned that apparently the Black Cross Army is allied with alien species. What alien species, you might ask? Never revealed. Nope. So, in the case of this one, the first monster they have with this particular base. Now, how they introduce this base is quite interesting. Apparently, it's basically buried. It's inside of a pyramid. And it looks like Egypt. So, here's the thing. They're half across the world, and they fly over. They basically, apparently, fly over to Egypt to go to this one base and fly this one base back to their base operations. Now, it's interesting, though, the fact they have this thing, and this. Now, when this thing is introduced, now this thing also has its own personal battleizer. It's also mentioned by the replacement Yellow Ranger that their battleizer is basically twice as high as the Valorum, their flying fortress. And also, this thing can fire like bombs. And it's like, okay, all the silliness we had in previous 6 episodes, that's all gone. We're a lot more serious now. Yes, we're going super serious. Where the Commander-in-Chief is basically there. The Golden Mask, basically, he's not the one coming with the plans. Mostly just Black Cross Fuhrer doing the plans. And Commander-in-Chief is basically just giving out orders, basically, from the Black Cross Fuhrer. It's like the Black Cross Fuhrer plays a little more active role in these episodes than he did previously. Because mostly just something on the base or just this little bob with his head. So, the Clock Mask one, well, this guy is, they do a funny bit in here. We have Momo Ranger, where he messes with his hands on his clock, which causes everything to go backwards. Okay, that was quite funny, but it's not like we're completely devoid of humor in these episodes. Not really, no. And what's Clockmaster's plan? Well, destroy ego bases. Yeah, that's pretty much what the thing is. And apparently, like, the shield that he carries, which is basically... He does have a spear, but he doesn't have, like, a staff like the other ones do. His spear is simply a clock arm, and his shield is a clock face. Okay? Fallen Leaf Mask. He's a multi-part monster. We'll probably go by basically Paul, where he also can kill people with his leaves. No, seriously. Basically, his whole purpose was to try to kill the Gorenger, which he fails at. Yeah. Windmill Mask. He himself, basically, what's his plan? Destroy more ego bases. Yeah, the whole thing of this one is basically for ego bases. And I believe this is the one where they actually... Let's see. Okay, actually it was previously with 65. 65, that's something completely unusual with the series. Normally they say something like this for the finale, but nope, they did this with 65. They actually had the Black Cross Castle, the spaceship, land in the middle of Tokyo. And the thing is, it's seen from the fruit parlor. From a distance. And it's there for pretty much the whole episode. And they, of course, deal with the monster of the episode, which is the clock monster, obviously. Actually, it's actually the felony one. So they do that, and of course they destroy the barrier by having the Veritank dug on the ground and come from the other side of the barrier and basically smash it from the inside. Thus ending the Black Cross Army's brief occupation of Tokyo. Yeah, they briefly occupied Tokyo for one episode, which that's ballsy. Second episode after they introduced this damn thing. Yep. And the whole thing was to get their hands on a scientist. Well, rescue a scientist from captivity who's apparently been attacking a lot of ego bases. Yeah. Now, in the case of 67, oh boy. This one. This is the episode that kills off the replacement Yellow Ranger and brings back the original one. Well, for this series anyways. So the monster one is known as Canop Monster. And the whole thing with him is basically Elysia's mold that was developed. And apparently they tricked Yellow Ranger to going past security with these oil barrels, which apparently contain the monster episode, the Canop Monster. And so throughout the whole, because of the fact that he inadvertently let these people in, he basically is doubting himself the whole episode. And eventually kind of redeems himself, basically goes out on his own without the help of the Go Rangers and deal with Canop Monster by himself by basically retrieving the fungus and basically throw over the cliff because apparently it's causing him damage in Tokyo. And he gets the last one, then Canop Monster just throws one of his little axes and stabs the replacement Yellow Ranger in the freaking gut. And then, of course, the Go Rangers catch it with him. His helmet is mysteriously removed. How the heck that happened is never actually shown. It's like, look, his helmet's gone. And then he decides peacefully. Canop Monster probably thinks, I killed a Go Ranger. You got 4 left. And that's when Yellow Ranger shows up, apparently abandoning his duties as an instructor. As for why, I think he was called back because they were in a pinch. But as for his job per se, yeah, it's kind of weird. My guess is the only reason why he's back here in this episode 67 is because he wrapped up his play. That was probably the reason for it. So he's back. He's able to transform to Key Range, no problem, and eventually be the monster, no problem. But we do have one more episode to talk about here. Because 6-7 is technically the end of one particular era. Mm-hmm. And apparently the Jack Japan Action Club, they apparently do the stunt work for this series, starting with this series in particular, with this episode 67. And they pretty much still do it this very day. Mm-hmm. Now, oh boy, 68. The Monsters 1 injection. So, excuse me. In the context of this episode like this, because the whole thing is about getting vaccines. Nowadays, basically, this is a very controversial topic due to what happened with the COVID stuff. Getting vaccines. And If you did an episode like this today, it would not go over well with the public. Back in the 70s, it was not really an issue. It's all about getting inoculated for the flu virus. Back in the 70s, it wasn't very much an issue. Nowadays, from perspective of somebody who watched this from 2022, this is a bit jarring to say the least to talk about something like this, because nowadays the topic of vaccines has still been controversial for over a year now. And, well, yeah, so basically the injection they're getting turns people against the public, like turns people to bad, and creates like black spots on their eyes. And apparently this one little boy is immune to it because apparently he doesn't like needles. I agree with him, I don't like needles either, but yeah, I got vaccinated. Yep, but this technically is the first episode fully back for the original Yellow Ranger. He's back, and he's here for pretty much the rest of the series. Yeah, he's here. He does not leave, though basically even after the series wraps up, he basically does play the character one more time after that in a movie, and that's it. Yep. Yeah. And by the way, they have this one moment here where you have Blue Ranger carrying, like, using the Vertank like claws. They replaced the original one, where he just squeezes the injection monster, all the black goo out of him, every last bit. Now, here's the thing: there's no mention of a cure. Now, apparently, these missile bases have been attacked like very easily. They think, "Oh crap, is there a trailer?" No, they actually have been injecting people and using sort of true serum type injections in order to get location of something, to get all the information out of people, just because they're basically being told to do this stuff. So there is no traitor. It's basically a red herring about possibly a traitor in the Eagle Army. There really isn't. They basically do this because they have no choice in the matter. But yeah, I gotta say, 6 really good episodes. And with episode 60, I have 16 more episodes left to go for the whole series. And that's it. Now, I do not have time to watch the other 2 anime we're supposed to do today, Spy X Family and Barto. I might get time to watch them tomorrow. Possibly, yes. Let's see if I get done tomorrow, okay? Thanks for you. Bye.